Hello, nobody. Am I going to sit here right now and rant to my non-existent YouTube audience about Wii games? Yes. Yes, I am. So I, like many other kids my age, grew up alongside the Nintendo Wii. And it's a silly thing to feel sentimental about a console, a tiny little white box that sits by my feet as I record this. But honestly, it's a very important machine for me, and all the games are so incredibly special. See, my dad works very hard. He works all week, but gets weekends off, like most people do. When I was a kid, I didn't get to spend that much time with him. He had a lot of trips too. So we bond over video games. We'd spend our Sundays on the Wii or maybe watching Formula One racing. In case you're new here, I am very gay. Anyway, a big game we used to play on these Sundays was Mario Kart. Of course, this isn't obscure in any way. Pretty sure most people have played it, but the fondest memories I have with my dad are us screaming at the TV, fighting Red Team in versus mode. We were always Blue Team. He'd always pick Luigi because he's cool, and I would jump between Toad, Diddy Kong, and Rosalina. Thanks to him, I now always pick Luigi when I'm playing on my own or when with friends. It makes me happy. I was literally like 5, so I wasn't very good at the game, but it was fun. And then I actually did begin to get good. Soon it would be us two, first and second, him first, me second. Then it got tighter and tighter until I won my first race against him. And subversion of expectations here. I don't remember it. Because it was never about winning. It was about spending time with him. It was always about spending time with him. Don't get me wrong, I love my mum just as much, but our things like baking and household stuff, not video games. She sucks so bad at Mario Kart. Another game I used to play with Dad that is probably way more obscure considering I don't even remember the name of it. Hang on. Rampage. Total Destruction. What the absolute fuck was this game? My dad had this co-worker, I want to say John, maybe Dave. He gave us this box of his older Wii games sometime around when I was about 5, maybe 6. It was before we moved. And it included this game, and like Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, which I wasn't allowed to play for some reason. Yet I was allowed to play this game that let you smash the shit out of buildings Godzilla style. Yeah, I'm reading the Wikipedia article. Apparently it had a plot. I mean, I was like 5, so it received unfavourable reviews. Sorry. I don't have as many lovely, fond memories with this game, but I just thought it was funny. It provided a lot of entertainment for two motherfuckers with sadistic streaks. Another mildly shit game I played with Dad was Super Star Kart with a Z, which was DreamWorks' answer to Mario Kart. I also thought this was called Madagascar Kart until literally a minute ago. This game was atrocious. The controls were awful, the tracks were awful, but it was the funniest, most frustrating shit because both me and Dad genuinely sucked at it. It was so funny. This game doesn't have a Wikipedia, it has a fandom wiki. Just let that sit for a moment. One of the characters had voice lines. It was incredible. We also used to play some of the Scooby-Doo games on the Wii. There were like 5, but there are 2 that I remember. And it was mostly a single-player experience since we're not the most cooperative fucking can't speak. We're not exactly the most cooperative duo when it comes to puzzle games. Got there eventually. I inherited his stubbornness. There are 2 games I remember, First Frights and Spooky Swamp, I think. Now, First Frights was actually genuinely scary. I think episode 2 was the worst. It was set in this sort of carnival toy factory, and there's a small bit where you have to platform your way through sewers, and there are these fucked up dolls chasing you, making the worst noises you've ever heard. A mix between a groan and like a guttural sigh, like scary, dude. This stage also had the worst boss. It was a huge toy robot with these weird fucking octopus arms that would electrocute you. Scary shit. Episode 3 was also scary, but only really once you realised the little town by the coast was a genuine reference to Lovecraft's The Shadow over Innsmouth. Scooby-Doo Wii game, may I remind you. and then, the mystery was never solved by the end. It was a real ghost, not just some greedy capitalist. But the mechanics were clunky, the graphics weren't that good, it had some god-awful voice acting, but damn did I love it. Spooky Swamp was the sequel. I preferred this one, even though it wasn't actually as good as the first. Definitely not scary. The reason I liked this one so much was entirely because of one character, Lila. She was very pretty, and I thought she was cool with her pet crocodile, and she was an outsider. That's the entire reason. Oh, and the frog. There was this stupid frog you could catch and he'd tell you puns. That was great. There was also this Mexican town that was probably in poor taste, but it was cool as hell. Day of the Dead themed. Snazzy. Taught me what the word mausoleum meant. Now on to my Sims. I had this best friend as a little kid. I think they're still subscribed to my channel. I am to theirs. But they had the first My Sims game, and I was enamored with it for some reason. They let me take it home, and I had the time of my life. It was basically a worse Animal Crossing, but you are not paid and you build everything anyone ever wants from you. It kept me busy for hours, and I fell in love with every character, so I begged to get it for myself. And I got My Sims Kingdom, a different but actually better game for Christmas. This, once again, kept me occupied for hours. It was less Animal Crossing-y. It gave you quests, but you still ended up just going from island to island building shit for people. However, it introduced and gave more depth to characters, my favourite of which being Violet. If you look up both her and Aunt Lila, I think you spot a theme here. Violet got a boyfriend in this game. I didn't understand why I hated his guts. Fuck you, Lord Daniel, she's mine. But it was a very interesting storyline. All My Sims characters have certain personality defining interests, and Violet's was spooky. The exact opposite of cute, which was the island she inhabited's interest. She stayed there because of her sister Poppy, and subsequently Daniel. It took my little heart by force. I related to that feeling of being an outsider, even when everyone should, theoretically, be just like you. It was during this time that my best friend moved away. It only made me relate to Violet more. Anyway, enough of that sad shit. Another of my favourite characters was Dr. F. Yeah, because he was a bit odd and very funny. I'm a bit odd, and I like to think I'm funny. Probably not really. However, Kingdom wasn't my favourite My Sims game. Oh no, there was another one I played the shit out of, and that was My Sims Agents. I loved that game. I replayed it recently. The writing is fantastic, and I genuinely think it played a part in my eat the rich, fuck the government mentality. Literally, the big bad in that game isn't some maniac that everyone wants you to go give a slap on the wrist to. It's a maniac in power, who owns 90% of the city, who has the mayor in his pocket, who the FBI genuinely don't think you can take down. And you don't, not really. At the end of the day, you don't really win. A companion of yours gives up her life, and she and the villain get trapped in some alternate dimension. There's an epilogue mission that I've never personally completed because I don't have a lot of patience, but by the end of that, you're given a choice to either save them both or leave them both. I think that is genuinely genius. There was meant to be a sequel, but fucking EA never gave it to us. But the scene is so impassable, especially since over the course of that game, Evelyn, the one that gets fucked over, overtook Violet as my favourite. Look her up, she's gorgeous and so sweet. I love her dearly. Although every storyline in Agents is really good. I'm not going to talk about it all because it's long and complicated, but you're basically trying to figure out what happened to Evelyn's dad, and you go to all these places to learn more, little by little. My favourite of these was the Bordeaux Ranchon, which is based on New Orleans spiritual culture, and my lord was it so cool. The recent Sims 4 kit, not recent really now, but one of the packs, it was paranormal stuff, and it was based so much on that thing, on that location. That was the reason I got back into it again. It reminded me of it. Anyway, the Bordeaux Mansion also had a lot of my favourite characters in it. Violet, fucking Trevor, a terrible Shakespearean actor, Zombie Carl, a zombie butler. It was based off a murder mystery game along the likes of Cluedo, and it was awesome. Another bit I liked was the seaside. Dr. F, the lad, was there on holiday, I think. I think it was holiday. And his lovely sarcastic arsehole of a robot son, Tobor, was there too. And also Goth Boy, who's a very tired teen working customer service. He's funny. I won't go on too long, but my lord was this game beautiful. Give it a play. It's cheap as fuck since EA doesn't care about it anymore. Get the Wii version though. For some reason the DS one is completely different and 10 times shitter. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my rant. It's gone on for 3 pages and 9.5 minutes. I like to rant about my funny hyperfixations instead of boring my friends with them. Anyway, like and subscribe or whatever. I don't mind. Bye bye!